Today on the Daily Dollar, Snapchat announces sweeping layoffs, sparking concerns about the health and future of the company. Nothing new there, I suppose. Twitter dropping plans for an exclusive content feature. You could say they weren't a fan. And don't forget that new exclusive edit button. Unfortunately, it won't remove that pesky Elon issue. TikTok is in that awkward position where its two largest markets may tear it apart. Each time it appeases one, it angers the other. Will they be able to walk this tightrope forever? OnlyFans had explosive growth throughout the pandemic. Will it be able to keep it up, or is this the climax? This is a place for financial news and information. If you like our content, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and keep watching The Daily Dollar. Snapchat had some bad news to report as it laid off 20% of its workforce. Keep in mind that Snap only has about 6,000 employees. Or 4,800 now, I suppose. They cited the typical reasons of cost-cutting and narrowing their focus. This comes as the advertising industry faces headwinds with the broader attitude of a nearing recession. Shares in Snap are down 86% from its run-up in 2021. That makes crypto look stable. Those valuations were beyond excessive, but hey, what do I know? As we all know now though, those 2021 prices weren't to last. RIP portfolio. Snap has been a bit of a disappointment ever since its IPO. Like most of its social media competitors, it failed to achieve the balance sheet and success of Facebook. A reason for this is that it appears Snap has never had a clear plan for the future, to grow beyond its core picture and chat functions. The story feature was unique, until Meta cloned it and threw it into Instagram. Snap to this day has failed to leverage its young audience. Despite being copied by everyone, they haven't had too much of a response. They should be trying new things to leverage what makes Snapchat unique. Not everything is negative though. Snap has that young user base of Zoomers. What a nickname to get stuck with forever. Which are the opposite demographics of Facebook, but now TikTok has become the new way of reaching Gen Z. The best thing Snap has going for it is that it draws less attention than the other social media platforms. It keeps them out of the media and political crosshairs at least. While Snap probably isn't doomed, it needs to remember it is in an ever-changing and evolving industry. Focus on the users, the creators, and the advertisers. Twitter dropped plans to make an OnlyFans type of feature. This would have allowed creators to hide exclusive content behind a paywall. This wouldn't be all that extreme, as Twitter has never been the family-friendly platform. They didn't give a specific reason as to why it dropped the idea, but you could assume that they didn't have any more reputation points to lose. They also have a new edit feature which allows you to make changes to your tweets within 30 minutes. The original can still be seen, so it's less sneaky feeling than the original version they described. Twitter has had a similarly troubled road as Snapchat. They started strong with a unique contribution to the social media space, but never amounted to what was originally hoped. Facebook set a precedent that is much harder to achieve than most people and investors thought. Until TikTok went viral, many had given up on the social media platforms being a sound investment beyond Meta. That strategy hasn't aged well either. Twitter would need to get into a form of media that is more easily monetizable. Unfortunately, like with Snapchat, the innovation and leadership have left a lot to be desired. On top of all that, Twitter can't catch a break, as the accusations from a former employee stir up more trouble. The claims are wide-ranging from a lack of security to complete negligence. However, the credibility of the claims should be considered as Peter Zatko, the whistleblower, also known as Mudge for some reason, was let go from the company, and employees have called him out as he was the head of security. Kind of sounds like he was bad at his job. Either way, the government has a few questions about the claims being made, and Elon is trying to use it as a get-out-of-jail-free card, so he isn't forced to buy Twitter. Only time will tell how this all plays out. Saying TikTok took the world by storm is an understatement. It overtook every social media company except for the two reigning kings, Meta and YouTube. It's one of the most valuable startups, and the revenue is starting to match. Investors dream of getting in on the action, but that may never happen. This is because the parent company, ByteDance, stated that it has no plans to go public, which is no surprise. The Chinese government has crushed any company that wants to list overseas. Most investors would hardly trust the Chinese stock market. Even if they did list on the New York Stock Exchange, investors would need to be cautious. China cares not for free markets nor foreign shareholders. Control and order are the metrics they keep track of. The USA is increasingly agitated by the rise of a Chinese social giant, determining what content US citizens see and what happens to their data. Nobody's allowed to exploit the data of Americans, except for Uncle Sam and everyone who lobbies it. All jokes aside, TikTok has caught the ire of Congress, and unlike Meta, YouTube, and all the other American-owned and operated social media companies, Washington won't need to worry about protecting shareholders. This could result in TikTok being forced to split off its non-China business, or selling itself to another US company. Preferably, as an investor, if this was to happen, I would rather Western TikTok spin off into an independent company, rather than being purchased by Meta or Google. Do you think TikTok will avoid getting ripped apart? Would you invest in a spin-off of TikTok's US operations? Let me know in the comments below. OnlyFans became a force to be reckoned with as the pandemic convinced creators to diversify, and people found new hobbies. Their revenues tripled in just the last 2 years, causing most social media platforms to consider jumping in. Instagram and Twitter have both considered entering the space. That being said, the creators on the platform have been raising concerns, primarily with the revenue cut being unfavorable. The company said they were not experiencing the subscriber slowdown that Netflix was going through. A bit of an odd comparison, but I guess they are both in the entertainment business. I guess it is no surprise that social media companies often find themselves in controversy. Based on the winners and losers, content is king. You need to keep creators and advertisers happy, which can be a slippery slope to say the least. To stay on top, you need to innovate, you need to adapt to the competition, and you need to know which way you're going. The social media industry is always in a state of change. I've often wondered if any of the current giants will still be on top in 20 years. Do you think social media companies can be a long-term bet? Or are they wrapped up in too much drama? Let me know in the comments below. For more financial news and information, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and keep watching The Daily Dollar.